Hello everyone, my name is Ram and welcome to another video of Matuklasan. Some people may think that mathematics was made to torture our brains on nonsense numbers. But what if math is already present in nature and mathematicians are just translating it to us using symbols like numbers? Have you ever counted the number of petals in a flower? You might think that any number is possible. But you might be surprised because nature seems to favor a particular set of numbers like 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 13. It may seem a coincidence to you, but these some sort of numbers form a pattern. In the sequence, the next number is found by adding up the two numbers before it. For example, 2 is found by adding the numbers before it. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Following the same pattern, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 2 plus 3 equals 5, 3 plus 5 equals 8, and 5 plus 8 equals 13. This pattern is called Fibonacci Sequence. Early writings show that this pattern of numbers was already investigated by some Indian mathematicians like Pingala, Virahanka, and Hemachandra. Though this pattern was popularized in Europe by Leonardo of Pisa, also known as Leonardo Fibonacci, thus the name of the pattern. He's one of the most influential mathematicians of the Middle Ages because Hindu-Arabic numeral system, which we also use today, was popularized in the Western world because of his book, Liber Abaci, or Book of Calculation. In this book, Fibonacci posed and solved a problem involving the growth of a population of rabbits based on idealized assumptions. The solution for this problem? Well, as you guessed, the Fibonacci sequence. Now, let's investigate the problem further. If two newborn rabbits are put in a pen, how many rabbits will be in the pen after a year? Assume that rabbits always produced one male and one female offspring, can reproduce once every month, can reproduce once they are 1 month old, and they never die. We start with the first pair of newborn rabbits at the beginning of the month. Since they are too young to produce an offspring, when they get old at the beginning of the second month, we still have one pair. This time, the rabbits are old enough to reproduce. So, at the start of the third month, we will have 2 pairs. On the fourth month, the old pair will produce another pair, while the first set of offspring will be old enough to reproduce. So, on the fifth month, we will have 5 pairs of rabbits. By using the Fibonacci sequence, we will have 144 pairs in the beginning of the 12th month. However, we need to identify the number of rabbits after a year. So, we need to continue the sequence up to the 13th term of the sequence. So, the final answer to the problem is 233 pairs or 466 rabbits. Fibonacci sequence is a wonderful series of numbers that could either start with 0 or 1. Let's visualize these numbers using square tiles. I will start with a 1 by 1 square. Then another. Together, they form a 1 by 2 rectangle. Above that, a 2 by 2 square. Next to that is a 3 by 3 square. Beneath that, a 5 by 5 square. Now, if we continue to do this and connect opposing diagonals continuously, it will reveal the Fibonacci spiral. And this spiral could be seen a lot in nature, architecture, arts, human body, and beyond. Going back to the rectangle, what if we're going to divide the two dimensions, 8 and 13 on this case? Notice that it's just like dividing two consecutive Fibonacci numbers, right? Doing this up to the highest possible pair of Fibonacci numbers will give us the golden ratio. The golden ratio is approximately equal to 1.618, represented by the Greek letter phi or phi. In math, the golden ratio is a term used to describe the relationship of two figures where the numbers seem to be in some form of complementary ratio. If you have a number A and a lower number B, then the two are in the golden ratio if the quotient of these two numbers somehow near 1.618. So basically, any ratio which comes close to this value is said to be perfectly proportioned. The golden ratio is commonly used to calculate perfect spirals, triangles, arcs, and other figures. For example, a rectangle with a length of 8.09 inches and a width of 5 inches is in the golden ratio because 8.09 divided by 5 is equal to 1.618. Since the discovery of the golden ratio, many known individuals were inspired to incorporate this magnificent number to their greatest work and creation. During the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci used the proportions set forth by the golden ratio to construct his masterpieces. Sandro Botticelli, Michelangelo, and others appear to have employed this same technique in their artwork. In music, evidence were found on the work of Debussy, Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, and Chopin. To man's marvelous architecture like Parthenon, Taj Mahal, Roman arches, Egyptian pyramids, Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame Cathedral, and many more were also built based on this mathematical pattern. Even in the Bible, in Exodus chapter 25 verse 10, God commands Moses to build the Ark of the Covenant, in which to hold his covenant with the Israelites. And even the ark which God commands Noah to build is based on a variation of the same ratio. In the 1490s, Leonardo da Vinci illustrated a mathematical textbook entitled Divine Proportion by Luca Pacioli. In this book, along with his work The Vitruvian Man, he pointed out the existence of the golden ratio in the human body. This can be proven by using the actual comparisons of the measurements of our bone structures and body. It even applies to our DNA. Yup, shockingly true. Psychologists have also noted that many celebrities and other attractive personalities have facial, body, and bone structures that conform to the golden ratio. Try nyo kaya? In nature, aside from the branching patterns of trees, spirals on snails, animal horns, and seed heads, did you know that honeybee colonies maintain a ratio of males to females at 1 to 1.618? This number even extends to natural occurrences, Earth-Moon relationship, solar system, and galaxies. You may even have it on your phone. Yes, because aside from the rule of thirds in photography, Fibonacci spiral is also being used. You might want to check that out. It's also available in App Store and Google Play. So, how is this even possible? Probably, some of you will say that they have no practical use. But the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio play a vital role in the finance sector worldwide, like helping financial analysts predict and understand the market. Maybe those are just coincidences and don't mean anything to few. However, coincidence or not, these patterns became part of the world we are living today, and they help us unravel the mysteries of nature. And before I forget, the background music I'm playing, it also came from the Fibonacci sequence.